The sun will be rising soon. Then, later on, once the day ends and night falls, the crimson candles will burn out in the secret study, sealing shut the magic portal beyond which your wizardly master is being held captive in hell. He clearly had some plan in motion, but something went wrong. For whatever reason, he did not uphold his end of the bargain with the devil Malekithus. He was to deliver to this devilish underlord 2 items, the Helm of Cernubog and the Sword of Blue Flame. What could have gone wrong? Ideas abound in your mind, different possible solutions that you would like to try, beginning with the statue room, which is right here nearby. The spell scroll of floating disc that you found up in the library is marked with a symbol of fire, which leads you to believe it has a function that pertains to the great fiery blaze. You move through the throne room and the gallery, then open the door to the statue room, and once again, the waves of intense heat come streaming out. Looking into the room at a safe distance, you ponder the usage of the floating disc. The spell should create a 3-foot diameter disc made of pure force, which floats a few feet off the ground and is able to hold up to 500 pounds of weight. The disc follows you wherever you move, always staying 20 feet behind you. Could you somehow use it to move the statues? And to what purpose? The statue of the woman you could probably manage, but as for the tall warrior with bulky armor and hefty square base, you're very doubtful. There seems to be a connection between frost and the way to open the star door in the entry chamber. The addition of the fire symbol on the scroll makes you believe there is something different or somewhat modified with this casting of floating disc. The disc will last for an entire hour, so you decide to try some experimenting. First, you ritual cast your unseen servant. It will also last for up to an hour and likely come in handy in the immediate tasks. The invisible servitor forms into existence, a presence of perfectly translucent force that bears no intelligence and only a mere fraction of the strength of a person, yet helpful and easy enough to summon. Second, you cast Zdravno's modified floating disc from the scroll. With a whoosh, the vellum crumbles away to nothing in your fingertips. Spreading out from a point in the air about 3 feet above the floor is a perfectly circular, translucent disc. It is 1 inch thick, and it also has a slightly concave shape, which is clearly part of the alteration Zdravno effected on this scroll. You move about the gallery space, testing out the movements of the disc. Indeed, it functions as normal in this regard. It remains immobile while you are within 20 feet of it, and when you move farther away than that, it follows you. You attempt to give it special commands using your knowledge of spellcraft. Your knowledge and skill in this particular case is vast. You quickly determine that the disc can move in one special way. It can be commanded to tilt slightly. Along with this gleaning, you conceive of a new idea. Water conveyed by this disc should extinguish the fire. This disc is the key to putting out the blaze. This is very interesting, and should provide the solution to freezing a layer of ice on the floor of the statue room. Before doing so, however, you want to gather some of the fire for yourself, as you suspect it will help against the wooden ogre in the game room. You head to the kitchen, collect several pieces of oven firewood, then come back. You even let the disc do the work of carrying the wood for you. You take the cast iron pot that you had already picked up from the kitchen and put it down in the gallery. Near the doorway to the statue room, you utilize your mage hand to extend a piece of wood into the fire. You hold it there until it is crackling with flames, then place it back in the cauldron. You repeat this process with a couple more pieces of wood until the pot is filled with a stable fire. Turning then to the courtyard, you move until the disc is positioned at the water fountain, and you use your prestidigitation to make a tiny funnel that easily fills up the disc. You then circle around the courtyard until you get the disc right by the door to the statue room. You command it to tilt, and when it does, it pours the water onto the great fire. The flames hiss and pop and stutter. It is working. You do this several times until the blaze is extinguished and the statue room is flooded with standing water. With the fire now gone, you dash behind the hefty warrior statue. The dragon breathes a blast of frigidness, which strikes the shield of the warrior in a small burst. You wait as again and again the magical cold streaks from the mouth of the stone dragon. Before your very eyes, the flooded water freezes over to ice. With a shove, you get the warrior statue moving, sliding slowly across the ice. Onward, against the continued frost breath, you press, until the warrior touches against the dragon. The sound of a mighty clash between hero and monster resounds throughout the room, followed by the howl of the dragon being defeated. The icy blasts cease. From the gullet of the dragon comes a key. Confident that the danger is no more, you swipe the key from the thing's stony tongue. It is the most beautiful of the 3 keys you have found, and its top is fitted with a pale blue aquamarine gem. Dawn has come, and the new day has truly begun. Excitement flutters through you like a cloud of butterflies. You want to try this gem key soon, but only after giving it some thought. In the meantime, you have a couple of other things to inspect. Back up to the game room you go, to right outside its doorway. The floating disc with the cauldron of burning wood follows behind you, up the stairs, and into the library. You set the flaming pot between yourself and the big wooden brute. Stay back, ogre. You send your unseen servant into the room to pick up the purple orb. The moment it takes the crystal ball, the ogre makes a threatening stomp. It goes to strike at the unseen servant, but when it does, you cast a prestidigitation on the cauldron. Fire and smoke flare up at the golem, and it recoils back, holding up its shield in defense. The orb floats across the room, carried by your invisible servitor, and you take it. With the fiery warding holding it at bay, the wooden ogre does not approach you. Your excitement only increases, and you hasten away. You return to the wine cellar to fetch 2 bottles of regular wine. You proceed with great caution, though there is no sign of the mimic, no objects that were not there before, and so forth. While here, you ponder the underground pool with the large water serpent. The magical box that Zdravno left you seems able to unfold into a boat, but you are highly concerned that such a big serpent could easily attack you while you were in the boat, or maybe even tip it over. Perhaps it is wise to wait on venturing back down into the waterfall cave, until you have a more secure plan. On the way to the cemetery, you pass through the courtyard. The clouds still cover the sky overhead, but the deep dark of night is gone. With the bottles of wine, you return to the cemetery. You pour out 1 full bottle onto the grave with a little vine of ivy that grew after you poured some wine onto it before. Bloop, 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 bloop. You empty the bottle, but nothing of note happens. You then empty out the second bottle onto the dead tree. Again, whatever it is that you're hoping for, it does not occur. You make your way to the armory, now confident that you have the appropriate objects. Using Mage Hand, you insert the copper key into the iron statue's left palm, then place the purple orb into its right palm. With a rumble and a squeal, the iron panel raises, opening the way to a small chamber beyond. This little room has 7 full-length mirrors. As you enter, the laughter of a young boy at play echoes throughout the space. You marvel at the exquisite craftsmanship of the brass-framed mirrors. The artistic embellishments are something fit for royalty. A moment later, your reflections in the mirrors shift, transforming into that of a boy. The young lad wears a blue tunic and has long brown hair. Curiously, in each of the images, he is holding something different. A jar of fireflies, a kaleidoscope, a kite, a sugar plum on a stick, a puppy dog, a spinning top, and a wooden toy sword. What a mystifying chamber of magic this is. What can it mean?